Maybe I'm reaching here, but when I look at the before and after pictures of the main Three Houses lords, I see a stark contrast in not only image, but in the personality depicted in that image. I've already discussed my opinions on Dimitri in a previous video, so in this one we're going to talk about the main lady herself, Edelgard. Now, before I begin, I know I already announced this in the community tab, but for those of you who didn't see it, I will be doing a Let's Play of Fire Emblem Three Houses for the Black Eagles route on Hard Classic based on recent votes. There's going to be daily uploads as well as an unboxing of the special edition on Friday, so if that's something that interests you, stick around and get ready for a wild ride. I look forward to discussing the game with all of you in the comments. Now, without further ado, let's get back to Edelgard. Prior to the time skip, all of our lords seem like they're just innocent high school kids who have large expectations ahead of them. They are all thrust into leadership positions, which seems to suit them for the most part, and they all have their own unique personalities. Dimitri looks like the embodiment of honor and professionalism, while Claude being the happy-go-lucky power of friendship kind of guy. They all have some sort of darkness in their descriptions, but for the most part, that's not something we see immediately. Edelgard is different. There's no darkness, there's no weakness, there's no uncertainty. Nobility, confidence, power. All we get from her description is a girl who seems to just fit the role that she must take. She also wields an axe, which to me could be rather symbolic as one fated to uphold the heaviest of fates. She must wield what is classically the heaviest of weapons, only wielded by the burliest of Fire Emblem characters. But maybe this is just me saying dumb stuff, as I sometimes tend to. But when we see characters like this in Fire Emblem, they either go one of two routes. We either have the strong and steadfast lord who will do nothing to accomplish their ideals, or we have a villain whose unwavering mentality leads to the straightest of paths down a dark road that cannot be reversed. At least, not easily, and not without cost. Alongside her description, we also have her art, both courtesy of official game art and some new art from Fire Emblem Heroes. The Edelgard of Young seems to be brimming with innocence and youth, and we even have many scenes of her looking to be a happy and cheerful young woman. But somewhere along the way, things must have changed. And here we have to look at the contrast of her pre-time skip art and her post-time skip art. The main detail that stands out to me the most here is her mouth, and more specifically, her smile, or lack thereof. The first picture has her cracking a bit of a smile, with it clearly having, at the very least, a slight upstroke in the drawing, whereas in the post-time skip art, it seems to have inverted, with the slightest of downstrokes. And I don't think I've seen a single scene of her in the trailers where she has shown a happy face post-time skip, so to speak. We also see a change in attire to the attire of what we can only assume to be the Empress. The color red has always been a defining factor of Edelgard's wardrobe, but here it is much more emphasized, where she has also gotten rid of the black and replaced it with gold in various places. Gold and red are classically the colors of royalty, and this shows that she has completely ascended to that role, in addition to the headdress of sorts. Speaking of which, let's talk about that. While Dimitri has his eye patch and Claude has his facial hair, Edelgard has received a headdress with a golden emblem of sorts in the middle, as well as two horns on it. Now, I don't know about you, but the most symbolic character I can think of with two horns doesn't exactly have the best reputation out there. Anyways, let's move on. In terms of her personality, there's very little that we know, but the major detail is the following quote from the E3 trailer, where she says, "Still, we have no choice but to eliminate those who cling to unreasonable ideas of justice." This sounds like someone with a very particular definition of justice, and someone who would stop at nothing to implement what they want. One last thing I want to discuss is the title of Emperor. In the Fire Emblem series, we have seen emperors or empresses associated with nothing but villainy. Allow me to explain. The notable holders of the title of Emperor or Empress are as follows: Hardin, Rudolph, Arvis, Vigard, Sanaki, and Walhart. All of these are characters who are, in one way, shape, or form, associated with the antagonistic side of the plot in their respective games. You can already see where I'm going with this, but if Edelgard is to be the 7th in line for notable Fire Emblem Emperors and Empresses, it's not really looking that good for her. You can make a case that most of these may have had good intentions, or were more of an indirect association, but maybe that'll be the subject of another video. Or you can go watch Arvis Did Nothing Wrong, it serves the same purpose. But I digress. To conclude, I'm not really sure what to make of Edelgard, but given the room for moral ambiguity in this character, as well as the fact that we might be able to play as a villain in her route, this is why I've decided to go with the Black Eagles in my first playthrough. I also like my Axe Lords, so yeah, there's that too. Anyways, that's my pre-game analysis on Edelgard, so feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below, and whether or not you agree with me, and even what your reasons for choosing a house are going to be. And if you want to keep up with more of my content in the future, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos like this, as well as my Let's Play starting on Friday. So thank you all for watching, and peace.